If you've been waiting for the next big leap in Formula One gaming, F125 rolls up to the grid with plenty of fanfare and honestly a lot of baggage. Is this the year Codemasters reclaims the pole position? Or are we looking at a series that's running out of fresh rubber? Strap in because today on Veteran Game we're dissecting everything F125 gets right, what's falling apart, and whether this is the year you should buy in or hit the brakes. Quick pit stop. If you love honest reviews, big gaming opinions, and deep dives that don't sugarcoat anything, hit like and subscribe right now. We're here to call it exactly as we see it, every lap of the way. Let's get right to the headline. F125 finally shakes up my team in a big way. After years of incremental changes, Codemasters has tossed out the old owner-driver fantasy and put you in the real deal team principal's seat. You're not just racing, you're managing budgets, facilities, staff, and get this, choosing which of your two drivers you want to race as for every Grand Prix weekend. That's right, you finally get to play out the favoritism drama F1 Twitter thrives on. But this time you're the one making those calls. It's a more hands-on, involved management sim than we've seen in the franchise so far. Researching upgrades. Now you need to produce them, assign them, and juggle your team's morale and perks to keep everything running smoothly. It's not quite Football Manager on wheels, but it's the most authentic F1 team management Codemasters has ever offered. The presentation gets a serious polish too. F125 is absolutely gorgeous, with upgraded lighting and trackside details that finally make those highlight reels look like the TV broadcast. Race at Vegas, and you'll see real casinos, not placeholder signs. Suzuka's cherry blossoms actually pop, and if you've got a beefy graphics card, prepare for some drool-worthy visuals. 8K 60 with path tracing is real if you've got the hardware. Now, on paper, all of this sounds like the series finally hitting its stride. But there are some real speed bumps you need to know about. Let's talk about that classic F1 issue, familiarity fatigue. If you played F124 or honestly any entry since 2020, F125 can feel like déjà vu. Sure, my team gets the headline overhaul, but modes like driver career are basically copy-pasted from last year, intro cutscenes and all. Even the celebrated Breaking Point story mode, returning for its trilogy finale, follows a now familiar formula. Dramatic rivalries, on-track objectives, a little soap opera. It's solid, but it's not fresh, and for veterans, the seams are starting to show. Breaking Point 3 itself is a mixed bag. It delivers 9 hours of story, plenty of drama, and the most developed cast this side of Netflix's drive to survive. The writing even pokes at F1's own history, letting a fictional woman challenge for the title before the real grid ever does. There's a welcome increase in off-track management and actual choices, but you'll still get pulled out of the moment by janky cutscene logic or lines that don't match your actual results. Win a race you were supposed to lose, and your character still mopes about missed opportunities. Come on, Codemasters, it's 2025. Dynamic dialogue isn't new tech. Let's talk gameplay, because this is where things get divisive. On a racing wheel, F125 is still one of the slickest sims you can buy. Cars feel weighty, the AI is smart and fiercely competitive, and racing in changing conditions is a genuine thrill. The revamped lighting isn't just for show. Driving at dusk or in the wet looks and feels incredible. But if you're playing on a controller, that's where the tires start to squeal. The new handling model is controversial. Pad users get steering that feels sluggish and almost too dampened, making quick corrections a nightmare. Traction control can actually make things worse. There's more understeer, less grip, and a generally heavier feel that's a far cry from the pick-up and play vibe of past years. For racing veterans with a wheel, it's a challenge. For casual pad racers, it's a potential deal-breaker. The bugs are here too, wonky radio calls, subtitle typos, and some awkward frame rate drops, especially if you're pushing ultra settings on mid-range hardware. It's not broken, but it's definitely not as polished as previous entries. Codemasters usually cleans this up post-launch, but it's another sign that yearly releases are starting to show their cracks. What about new features? We do get reverse track layouts for circuits like Silverstone and Zandvoort, which is cool for a few laps, but it's hardly the kind of innovation that makes you want to play for months. F1 World is back, bringing bite-sized multiplayer and loot grind for the folks who love battle passes and cosmetic rewards. Personally, I'd trade all the dance emotes in the world for a few more classic F1 cars, but hey, maybe that's just me showing my age. Now, if this is your first F1 game, you're probably in heaven. The amount of content, assists, tutorials, and options for new players is honestly fantastic. This is still the best entry point for new fans or people just getting into the sport. But if you've been around the block, F125 doesn't offer enough real innovation to justify a full price upgrade, unless you live for team management or you're dying for the breaking point finale. A couple of bright spots: the AI. F125's AI drivers are smarter than ever, defending, attacking, and battling like real drivers instead of slot cars. When you lose a position, you know you earned it. When you win, it feels sweet. And that's the magic that still keeps this series at the front of the grid. But here's the truth: F125 is a tale of two games. For newcomers, it's easily the strongest the series has been since the golden year of F1 2020. For returning players, it's a sign that even the best racing franchises need a real shake-up, not just an annual tune-up. The foundations are still rock solid, but the paint is starting to peel. So should you buy F125? If you're a new fan or you've been away for a few years, absolutely. The new My Team mode alone is a game changer, and you'll love the polished presentation, smart AI, and sheer amount of stuff to do. But if you're a yearly buyer or you only play on controller, maybe wait for a sale or a big update. This is a franchise at a crossroads, and if Codemasters doesn't take some bigger risks soon, it might find itself stuck in the midfield. What do you think? Is F125 enough to keep your engine revving, or is it time for something new? Drop your thoughts below and let's talk shop in the comments. And if you want more hard-hitting, no BS reviews just like this, make sure you subscribe to Veteran Game. Thanks for watching. See you next race weekend.